Kerala Legislative Assembly के Speaker Honorable Shri A.N. Shamseer.
Good evening to all. It is a proud privilege to participate in the August gathering. We are here to commemorate the centenary of Sri Vitalbhai Patel becoming the first Indian elected Speaker of the Central Legislative Assembly. Sri Vitalbhai Patel rose to become the first elected President of the Central Legislative Assembly in India, apart from becoming the President of Mumbai, member of Mumbai Council. He contributed actively in the proceedings of the legislative affairs for the welfare of the people of India, even during the British regime. A great social reformer, Sri Vitalbhai Patel was influenced by Lokmanya Tilak's political philosophy. He devoted himself to bring forth social and political reforms to successfully fight for India's freedom. As the first Indian speaker, Sri Vitalbhai Patel showcased superb legislative skills, impartiality, I am underlining the word impartiality, independence and fearless approach. This was widely appreciated and acknowledged by the members who unanimously elected him for a second term as president. Political activities gain popularity when they are executed from a democratic platform. Political leaders and political parties are always amidst of common man, trying to devise new methods to create better living conditions and to improve the marginalized and the deprived. The significance of democracy is that it aims to empower the individual to lead the kind of life that he or she values. Democracy ensures rule by the people for proper participation, representation and protection of fundamental rights. Nehru's vision of Indian independence, as observed in his message to the nation on August 15, 1947, when he was speaking on August 15, 1947 to the common man. That includes the peasants and workers of India. He aspired to fight and to end poverty, ignorance and diseases. He wanted to build up a prosperous, democratic and progressive nation and to create social, economic and political institutions that will ensure justice and fullness of the life to every man and woman. Over the past 75 years, Indian democracy has grown up by overcoming challenges. At first, we face emergency. Likewise, the contemporary India faces erosion of civil liberties and freedom of expression. We tend to realize that like a plant, I'm underlining the word, we tend to realize that like a plant, democracy needs nurturing. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Once again, I underlining the word, the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. The language of democracy is one of accommodation anchored in moderate thought and national persuasion. It is not about hurting sensitivities, but respecting them and recognizing the political adversaries. You should treat political adversaries not as a political enemies. But unfortunately, we are seeing political adversaries is treating as a political enemies in contemporary India. Democracy, after all, is not about a strong man imposing his will over the weakage of the universe. It is premised on a search for the middle ground and rejection of extremes, an objective best subserved through elegant communication. The spoken words and speeches of leaders provide the benchmark of democracy. Earlier Indian republicanism can be traced back to the independent Ghana sagas, which appear to have existed between the 6th and 4th century BCE. The Buddhist scriptures in Pali provide a vivid deposition of the city-state of Vaishali during the 5th century BCE, and describe the different groups that managed their own affairs. Kautilya's Arthashastra gives a comprehensive account of system of village administration. Village panchayats were also prominent in the Maurya and Chola dynasties and during the golden era of Gupta period. Indian democracy is an ancient Greek democracy, and both evolved independently. We all know Greek democracy and Indian democracy is one of the oldest democracies in the world. As did other states with assemblies throughout the rest of the world. Instead of conceiving democracy as something that was invented, it is better to think of it as one of the elemental forms of government common to all humanities. We all know there are a lot of studies taking across the world. VDM, you may know, that is Students' University. The VDM Institute has studied about the various indexes about the democracy. The deliberate democracy indexes measures whether political decisions are made through public reasoning or emotional appeals and coercion. The egalitarian democracy index examines equal access to rights and liberties. The electoral democracy index evaluates election cleanliness and lack of fraud. The liberal democracy index measures protection of individual and minority rights against state tyranny. The participatory democracy index measures active citizens' engagement in electoral and non-electoral political process. Currently, India is among countries which recorded significant erosion in democratic values along the Greece, Brazil, Poland and Philippines. You know that the democratic values are eroding day by day. And the ruling classes is utilizing the governor to control the ruling state governments. You know, governor is a ornamental post. But unfortunately, by using the governor's post, the state government is being controlled by center. It's purely unfair. Center-state relation should be in a good manner, in a healthy manner. But as far as my state is concerned, what's happening? By using the governor, center is trying to sabotage the state governments. Center is trying to sabotage the will of the people, those who voted in favor of the elected governments. They have to realize people are the masters. In democracy, once again I repeat, people are the masters. You have to realize people are the masters and you should obey the people's will. But unfortunately, in my state, they are trying to sabotage the government. Governor is not signing the bills. It is a common scene as far as concerned to my state. Assembly has passed the bill. That is pending before the state governor's office for 2 years. What's happening here? The speakers across the state should support us. Because we had made a strong discussion for 2 or 3 days against the bill, regarding a bill. And there is people, some of the MLAs stand for the bill and some of the MLAs stand against the bill. At last the bill has been passed. It has been submitted to the government for the assent. But government is not giving assent. It is purely unfair. In democracy, we had to respect the people's will. But unfortunately, it is not being, the bill has not been assent. And also we had to realize one fact, dissent is the essence of democracy. But now, as far as the center is concerned, majoritarianism is taking place. I'm not going through the various data of that issue, but in this august house, lot of speakers are gathering here. They should realize what is happening in my state. We had passed several bills. We had made a lot of discussions. 2 or 3 days we discussed. Some of them has favored the bill, some of them has against the vote. But at last, the bill has been passed. But the governor is not giving assent to the bill. It is very unfortunate. So the speakers gathered here should support. What is the role of the governor? How should they act? That is to be discussed in this Augustus House because we are commemorating the 100th centenary of Vithalbhai Patel. So I'm not going for a long speech. Democracy and freedom require constant vigil. Even when state power becomes tyrannical, every Indian must possess the courage and will to rise. Democracy is our gift to ourselves. We must protect it, since like all gifts, it can also be snatched away. Thank you for all.